Everyone, this is Villains the Man, and I'm JVD, bringing you another comic book review over Cosmic Ghost Rider, a 5-part miniseries spitting out of Donny Cates' extremely popular story, Thanos Wins, in the most recent volume of Thanos. I guess you would consider that volume 2, which I've done a review on, if you want to go check that out, and the annual following it up. The Cosmic Ghost Rider looks awesome, no doubt about it, and we just recently, me and Evan the Great, got to sit through a panel of Donny Cates' about a month ago, and everybody had asked him where the character come from, and he said it was just something he used to doodle around at a comic book shop that he ran, and it wound up being this big, piece of art on the side of a van, and well, now it's probably the hottest character from Marvel right now. With that being said, the character's alright. I don't think it's as great as what it is. I think what makes it extremely popular is he is very, very much like Thanos, Deadpool, in a way that he's not all there. He's very crazy about how he presents stuff, and a lot of people originally thought the character he was Deadpool during the Thanos Win storyline until it was revealed that he was Frank Castle, and then when you learned the history of him and why he became the Ghost Rider, it's actually really, really good. Now, with that being said, this miniseries, it's alright. It's honestly just seems like it's written to push Cosmic Ghost Rider into main continuity, because the character is obviously hot and Marvel wants that property around. As we know, he's showing up in Guardians of the Galaxy, or Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever that book is called right now. Anyways, it's going to be a book full of all the big top cosmic guys. We've seen Silver Surfer on there, Nova, Beta Ray Bill, Adam Warlock, big powerful characters. Almost like the Annihilation team that we've seen spin off of Annihilation Conquest. And the thing is, I'm not really all that interested in reading it, and I don't know if it's because of this. Like I said, the story, it's alright. It doesn't really do much for me as a reader. It's just there. But it's pretty simple and straightforward. There's nothing special. Kind of with that, I'll get into the plot and kind of spoil some stuff here. But as we last left off in the end of Thanos Annual, we seen Odin come and take Brent Castle. And he brings him to Asgard. So we automatically know that this is Odin from current continuity, and he brings him to our current time. And he doesn't realize why Frank's so miserable being Valhalla, and so Frank, being the Punisher, kind of gives him all types of bullshit reasons and whatnot. And what's interesting is he gets into a fight with this minor god called Koldax the Grave, and they get into a fist fight as him and Frank Castle. Now, he doesn't have the Ghost Rider powers or the Cosmic Ghost Rider powers or none of that while he's here in Valhalla. Odin has taken it from him, and they get into a fight, and it's pretty cool because he says that he's learned to fight from Thanos, the Devil, and the U.S. Marine Corps. So I thought that was pretty good. And as Odin's mad at him for doing so, we learn that he breaks his nose. And he knows he can't kill him, but he tells Odin, if you break a man's nose, it'll make him think. So, and that kind of made a lot of sense, that Frank Castle, just as a normal human, could beat this Asgardian, and Odin had mentioned that he's just a minor god. Well, you go back to Siege, and that was a problem during the Siege story that I think a lot of people had. You had guys like Bullseye and Daken, whatever you prefer to call him, killing Asgardians, and this just kind of proves that, you don't have to be a big, tough, super Hulk character to fight Asgardians. Unless they're on the level of Thor, so, even though they're more stronger and more durable than your typical street-level superhero, it is very capable of beating them and possibly killing them. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But we find out that his main bitch about being here at Asgard is he tore time and space to come get him, but gave his dead family nothing, and that's what hurt Frank. So if he doesn't want to be there, Odin's willing to give him his powers back with no choice and send him anywhere in time. So he decides that he wants to go back to the birth of Thanos and try to teach Thanos a different way. And this is where the comedy sets in the book. He meets baby Thanos and gets punched by baby Thanos, who's in a little bitty diaper. He tries to give him the pendant stare. And he's too innocent because he's a child. He has not committed any of the crimes that he's going to go on to commit. So that's when, Ghost Rider realizes, well, I'm going to take him on a cosmic journey to show him that, you should not do the despicable things that you did and that I helped you do. So, he winds up using the chain like a baby tether. It's pretty funny because he's got him wrapped around his waist, baby Thanos, with his Hellfire chain. And, he goes to this planet because he knows that Galactus is going to destroy this planet. He's wanting to talk to Galactus because he used to be his herald. Then he lets Galactus read his mind. And so he can find out everything that happened. And it's kind of funny because he's wanting to, teach Thanos, don't be a murderer, don't use violence. And the Watcher shows up. Baby Thanos calls him a sky baby. And he's warned that he's going to make the worst mistake in the galaxy because Thanos, no matter what, is a universal constant. And that's very, very interesting. So, Thanos, no matter what, in all the multiverses throughout Marvel, which we don't even know how many multiverses there are because of the recent Secret Wars a couple years ago, he's always a universal constant. And we know that he's lost death here in the current timeline. But that just says something about how important Thanos is to the cosmos, that he's always supposed to be this same character. He's always going to be this constant, universal mass murderer, this killer, this destroyer of worlds and conqueror of planets. And obviously the Watcher's here to tell him that he can't change it, and that doing so was going to cause, a great imbalance, which it does. And the Guardians of the Galaxy, led by Cable, show up. And I thought that was what's really cool about this, is because Cosmic Ghost Rider's now time jumped. Well, who else better to come fight you in a time jump, knowing that you've messed up the line, than Cable, who constantly time jumps, and probably, most likely, messes up a lot of timelines. So he's here to fix it. And basically, it's a constant fight between him and the Ghost Rider. And Frank's telling baby Thanos not to watch. And it's pretty cool because it's a small contingent of groups that eventually grows all the way to like 100 people. And he's just trying to throw them at the Cosmic Ghost Rider. He's killing everybody. And we get a lot of good mashups here. We get a Juggerduck, a Tower of the Duck, and he's massive like the Juggernaut. So obviously has the Gem of Sidorak. We get an Iron Groot, which is like Rocket and a little bitty Iron Man armor. Then they manage to kill Galactus. They get some pin particles, like shrink him down, and they keep coming back with a fight. There's really something that's really cool that I loved. We've seen the Kamala Khan, that was Iron Fist, so I thought that was really neat. And eventually, Cosmic Ghost Rider is too worn out to fight, and as he's passing out, we see baby Thanos show up and start murdering everybody as a child, nonetheless. And this whole kind of story kind of reminds me, speaking of Cable, when Cable was a child and Deadpool was kind of running around during, I think that happened during House of M, if I'm right, somewhere around there. Because after the Messiah Cable thing, which apparently is coming back now. Well, anyways, this planet that they're on, we see Thanos show up with his little baby there, and now he's an adult and he's dressed like the Punisher on this planet. And this is what the Watcher had warned him about. This whole planet is beautiful, and Frank sees himself and his wife in this cabin out in the middle of nowhere, and Thanos is trying to tell him that he'd done it for him, that he had learned for the best. But then there's a part of the planet where, there's a really funny part here, before I spit it up. When Thanos' Punisher shows up, baby Thanos says, "Who's this ugly man?" And it's him, and he doesn't realize it. It's so funny because his mind is so innocent, and he doesn't realize that it's him, and he's willing to call himself ugly. So, but anyways, part of this planet, Thanos has punished those who want liberty on Earth and sent them to camps that are basically this giant metropolis. So in the end, Thanos has become no different than a Nazi in a sense. And everybody is here, all the heroes, except for this one house where Frank and his wife lives. And he said he had stopped the men from killing Frank in his timeline, so he could live happily. So, going over his mind, Cosmic Ghost Rider is, he's not very, he knows this is wrong. And he realizes that baby Thanos will grow up to be this, and he has to change it. And he even makes all the things that he's been, and he even references the angel thing, where he was an angel at one time, which is kind of funny, considering he's basically made a deal with the devil eventually. So, anyways, there's a huge fight between the two over this, and he unleashes, it almost looks like this massive Kamehameha wave against him, and it still doesn't beat Thanos. And then he hits him with a massive, epic penance stare. And a lot of people are like, oh wow, Cosmic Ghost Rider is this powerful that he's able to beat Thanos. We also have to realize, is this the Thanos of mainstream Marvel, the current continuity? Because this Thanos, we don't know if he's been blessed by death, what his upgrades are to himself, because he's constantly has been upgrading and experimenting on himself, what power he's gained through this timeline. So we can't really say that, wow, he took on mainstream Thanos, continuity Thanos. So it's something that people probably should just leave alone. But anyways, he sees that himself and his wife in this timeline are horrified. And he realizes that he's made a mistake. And it's kind of funny because even though he is horrified of himself, this Frank Castle, this timeline, you can see that the wife appreciates what he's done. Anyways, he takes the baby back and asks him to change. And you realize this isn't going to happen because as he leaves, he meets Death. And Death thanks him for teaching baby Thanos how to kill. So, in a sense, this is actually part of continuity now. Because this is where Thanos has learned to kill to get him to the point he is currently in Marvel. So, oddly enough, if you go back to Thanos Wins, the Thanos of our timeline that Cosmic Ghost Rider goes back and gets and brings to the future for King Thanos, he actually taught how to kill. So we can all thank Cosmic Ghost Rider. In the end, thank Frank Castle for teaching Thanos how to kill. Anyways, at the end, he does one thing because Hope had given him this in this timeline, and we see him body slide. So we know he's coming back to our continuity now. He's going forward to the future. Well, I'm assuming we can expect another brawl between him and Thanos when he joins us, Guardians of the Galaxy. But like I said, it isn't a great story. It's not typically a bad story. It's just kind of there. It's a very, very quick read if you want to read it. I'm sure this is sold like crazy because he's literally very, very popular. And I think it's only due because he's very much like Deadpool in a sense. And even here, and this is what might be the downfall of the character, is once Odin had pulled this from him, he's not that wacky, crazy character anymore. He seems like he's more himself. So I'm curious how that's going to play out in this Guardians of the Galaxy book. I might read it. There's a lot of characters that are there that I like, especially the Silver Surfer and Beta Ray Bill. But we don't know who that team is at this moment. We just know that the cover is a bunch of these powerful cosmic characters together. But with that, I'm JVD for the Villains Man. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter. Hopefully you subscribe to this YouTube channel where you're watching this right now. Leave me a like and comment. Keep reading, guys.